Hello, magical peeps. How are you all doing today? I am here with Anna with Wick Creations. She is a fabulous platinum sponsor for the Sound Symposium, October 26th and 27th at the Crown Plaza in Plymouth. How are you doing, darling?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, sweetie?
I am doing fabulous. I had popcorn for dinner, and that just fed my soul on such a nice level.
Oh, I love it so much.
It makes you happy. Do the little things that make you happy. So you are a platinum sponsor for the Sound Symposium for the third year in a row. You were the first sponsor the first year. So you are like the flagship of examples of what the community should be expecting and contributing and how enthusiastic they should be about serving each other. What made you decide to do this 3 years in a row, to do a hat trick?
I hate to sound like a broken record, and I'm sure I do because I know this was my answer the last 2 years. I love the meaning of what's behind the symposium. It's all about inclusivity. It's about all of us coming together as a community and learning things from each other. It's not, here's a book, write this down, here's a workshop, you need to take notes. It's about, this is what I do, this is what you do. Oh, that's really cool. It's not the same as what I do, but I will learn and grow from hearing about your experience and what feeds your soul. And I love that about it. I love sitting and talking with people. I love the classes that are offered, the presentations that are given. Like, there's always something that you learn. And I've gone to other conventions and it's always great. I always leave feeling like, oh, I learned something new. This is great. But the symposium always has, it has this real warm, fuzzy quality to it where it's not just I leave learning one thing. It's, oh my gosh, and I talked to this person and they told me about this, and isn't that cool? And oh my gosh, I'm totally going to start incorporating this into my practice because that really resonated with me. And I met someone who also works with this deity, and holy cow, they had such great insight. And it, I could yammer on and on. And the best thing I think of all, aside from all of that, is just you're able to be you, your authentic self here, and no one's going to sit there and shame you or be like, oh, that's what you do, oh honey, like that's so gross and it's so off, and I dislike that so much. And especially being a pagan, it's one of those things I fear, like, oh gosh, if you find out that I'm into witchy woo, what will you think of me? Will I not be enough? Will I be too little? Will I be off the rails? Like, how do I fit into your perception of what a pagan should be? And that's not in this community, not in this symposium. It's not what this community is about. It's about, you just come as you, sweetie, and what you bring to the table is what you bring to the table, and we will honor it and celebrate it. And it's a great weekend to just be you and learn something new and make friends, or don't make friends, but leave feeling a little bit more seen than you were before. So that any chance I have to contribute, I'll jump at it.
I love it. And we always appreciate that. Yeah, it's very much a melting pot. And it's like, as long as you leave judgment at the door, there is always a place for everyone. Like, that's a huge thing. I always tell people, if you have prejudice, don't show up. Like,
Yeah.
if you think this is your chance to spread hate, you are going to be painfully, physically painfully mistaken about the level of like no that you will meet in that room. But that's the way it's set up. Like, it's been
Yes.
cultivated by myself and the sponsors and the volunteers and the presenters and everybody to be a welcoming place. And it's like, come as yourself. And that's it. Like, that's the only thing you have to do. Preferably don't like bite people, but that's kind of the bar. It's come, have fun, be yourself, authentic, be offensively authentic. We love that in people. So
Yes.
a huge thing, you kind of brought it up, a huge thing in the spiritual and pagan community right now is like gatekeeping. Am I enough? Who's going to judge me for this? What is, and we've all had it. Let's be honest. We've all had that, like, oh, you do that, or I had
Yeah.
someone's girlfriend judge me and say that I could not be friends with another human being because of who I worshipped. To be clear, they were pagan too, they didn't approve of the deities that I connect with.
Yes, I've read
So
that.
I'm like, I worship who you want. Come and have fun. Loki can sit next to Odin, can sit next to Hecate. Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. So,
Yeah.
with that, what advice would you have to give people about gatekeeping and like feeling welcomed in a community? How should they come authentically? But what other advice would you have for them?
Um, my major thing that I had to learn coming up as a little witchling was other people's opinions are great. That's wonderful that they have that opinion, that they have that practice. Um, but you need to learn that whole, okay, they're telling me this because I want to believe the best in people, and I know I'm super gullible and super like squishy for that reason. I want to believe that when someone tells me, oh, actually, you're not doing that right. This is supposed to be done this way. Okay, they're trying to educate me. They're coming from a good place. They're trying to impart their knowledge onto me. When they tell me I'm not doing something right, that part, just omit. Just immediately pick it up, throw it away. It does not have any bearing on me or what I do. Take what they say, like listen to it, because maybe it is something that opens up a door for you. Maybe it is a stepping stone on your path. But anytime someone says, you're doing something wrong, this isn't right, or, oh, listen to me because I know better. Nope. That just, and it's so hard to do
Yep.
because it's so hard to do because you always, especially when you're starting out, it's always, I always at least came from a place of, I don't know enough. And I'm a seeker. I want to know more. I'm never going to know enough ever. It will never happen. I'll be on my deathbed and I'll still be like, just one more thing, please. But your other people's opinions are are just that. It's their practice, it's their path, and you got to keep that in your head at all times because it has no place for you. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. If it does resonate, that's fine, but it doesn't mean you're wrong or your path is wrong or anything you're doing is wrong.
Yes, I fully agree. And it's the don't take it personally when someone else's ego vomits on you. Like it's them, it's their ego, it's their mess. Slough it off, it'll be fine. Um and with being a platinum sponsor for the Samhain Symposium for the third year in a row, what are you looking forward to most this year specifically?
This year, I am so in love with the theme. Like ancestor work is my foundation, that is my rock. My grandmother started me with that. And when I kind of went off on my own and found my own path, that baby came with me. Like I pulled that right along. So I am so excited for that. Just to hear how people delve into it, to have a focus is super exciting to me because the last 2 years have been so great. I felt like those 2 years were really good for building a foundation and getting to know the community and really showing people, hey, this is a safe place. Everything has been taken into account. So come here, let your freak flag fly. We love you. We embrace you. We'll give you the warm fuzzies in a consensual and warm and like HR appropriate way. So that's great. We've got that done. Now we can focus and we can get into real deep seated things. I'm excited about, I'm always excited about the programming, but because it's got this focus to it, it's like a whole other level.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, it's having it have a theme. I really wanted honoring ancestors to be the first one because how inclusive is that? We all have ancestors, even people who are adopted, even people who don't know their ancestors. Like everyone has energetic ancestors. And so having it be something that we can all bond over was really important for the structure of this event. And I'm excited to have Dottie Graham McKay come and speak on it, and her book that just came out last month will be available, and she'll be speaking. She's the featured guest. So there's lots of little things that it's like, oh, like just I feel like this year there's been so much more added. Like it's 2 days instead of one. There's featured speakers, there's swag that's available that's never been available before. And with the swag being available, you and Shadowwick Creations are a vendor at the Sound Symposium on October 26th and 27th. And you will be having a candle that's made just for the symposium. You created it the first year, and I was very excited. What other candles? You have some of the most sought after candles in the Twin Cities from occult and metaphysical stores and from individual practitioners and covens. Like I know that you make custom candles for retreats around the country because you've supplied the candles for my retreats around the country and many other businesses. What besides the Sound Symposium candle, what is going to be your favorite candle at Sound Symposium this year?
Okay, you can't say that. That's like choosing a child as your favorite, and
I
you don't
know
have
it.
like it's easy for me. I've only got one, but or your a favorite sibling, although sometimes that's easy. Um, I'm super excited. I'm very excited. We always do kind of a god and goddess collection, but this year, anytime around Samhain, I really delve into the Samhain energies and the deities. And I realized while I was making my list for this, I'm like, oh, I kind of always work like have a candle for the Morrigan. I always kind of have a candle for Hecate, but it's still once you focus on the Samhain energies of them, it again that focus kind of gives you this other door into those energies and like some new aspects kind of come through, so those have been really cool to work with. I've also really been focusing on I am going to be focusing on, I had this idea this weekend and I started jotting down ideas, um, actual spell candles where I do the sigil on one side and then in Theban alphabet on the back I'm going to write out an actual spell onto the candle. So it's like, here is the candle. You've got the sigil that already is the spell working for you no matter what. But here's in the Theban alphabet, on the tag, I'll have the translation so people know what it is. So if you want to burn it and say the incantation with it, you can. It's right there for you. I'm really excited about that. That just kind of hit me and I got the goose pimples. Oh, I hate that term, goose pimples, but that's what happened. So and I also I oh, I'm sorry. I could go on forever, so I'll calm down.
No, it's
Except
great.
my cauldron, the cauldron votives this year, I also kind of, or for this one, I've also kind of adjusted to adding a blurb. I always kind of gave the intentions, the oils, but now you can go and pick your potion. So you pick a votive candle, and there's a little like almost divination writing in there for you. So this candle is like motivation of the sun. There's a little blurb about, hey, we all feel burned out. We all feel overwhelmed. If this is you, take some time to go for a walk in the sun, meditate in the sun, charge crystals in the sun, do something to bring that motivation or that energy from the sun into your being so you can push through. So it's kind of like a little tarot oracle deck divination thingy-mabobber included with it. So super excited about that too. I promise I'll be quiet now.
Thingy-mabobber. I love it. We all love thingy-mabobbers. And I think you bring up a really good point, especially with your product, with Shadowwick Creations. Everything is multifaceted. Everything is multi-purposed. Everything is customizable. There's nothing that is meant to be set in stone or just one thing. Everything is meant to serve an individual as best it can, as best the energy can, and as best the candle can, the universe, everything working in your favor through the candle. And that's one of the things I love about Shadowwick Creation is that it's able to create an energy specific for a person, even if the intention is the Morgan. That means something different to everybody, and it honors that. You know, it's a super cool concept that a lot of people who have black and white thinking, I feel like it can benefit everybody in the sense of it's universal. Your candles are universal. They're meant to help whoever, wherever they are on their path, which is just, I think, a very profound thing to do for a community is meeting people where they're at. And your candles always do that in and outside of events, in and outside of, the occult shops and the metaphysical shops that you supply, and in and out of all the events and retreats that you supply custom candles for. It really is a profound experience just to work with your candles. So I think that is a great thing to add to someone's life, you know?
I like I'm gobsmacked. I like just all the warm fuzzies. That's wonderful. But yeah, and really, I thank you so much. That's probably one of the biggest compliments I could get is when people understand when, and I think this is true of all tools. If you get a tool and someone says, oh, well, this is to connect to this and this is to connect to this, it's like, that's great for those correspondences. But if you pick something up and you're like, ooh, this is going on my protection altar, or this I'm going to use for Yule. And someone goes, oh, actually, that was made for belting. Sweetie, if it's talking to you and saying, use me for your Yule setup, use it for your Yule setup.
Yeah.
That's what matters. What's to you is what you need to roll with, in
Yeah.
my opinion, which you take or leave.
Yeah, like so many thoughts and schools of thought and stuff are based on like this black and white thinking. And in reality, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, it can be anything you want. And by the way, there is another term for it. They're called cosmic orgasms. Goosebumps.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh, yes, I need to start using that way more because I don't know what else to say. So I'm like, goose pimples. Oh, I hate that term. So cosmic orgasms. I love it
Yeah,
so much.
because it's the energy just whooshing through your body. And so, yeah, that is, I heard it years ago and I was like, oh, that's what I'm calling it forever. And so, yeah, whenever
I
I have goosebumps, I'm like, and they're also known as.
I love it. I adore it. Thank you so much for giving me that info because love, love, love.
It's valuable info to have.
It so is. I just can't say it like in my muggle job. That would be
No, no, that is valid. There are several like muggle things that we can't do there. So thank you so much for being here and doing this conversation and being a part of the community, being a platinum sponsor with Shadowit Creations, your candles, being a vendor at the Samhain Symposium on October 26th and 27th at the Crown Plaza in Plymouth. I I couldn't ask for better support than from you. The community couldn't ask for more than what you're giving. I think it is just amazing. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of the heart of all my clients and community members and followers. So is there any final words of wisdom that you have any for anybody before we sign off?
final words of wisdom is make sure you get your tickets first of all. That is important. Get your tickets, get to the door, but then just take everything in. We've got 2 days, so we can actually take time. We can delve into things. We can get to know each other. And even better, you don't need to rush through stuff. You can enjoy every minute, take notice of every minute. And I mean, it's great advice in life. My grandma Marie would always tell me, you need to slow down and just take everything in. But especially for Samhain Symposium, please get your tickets. This is going to be a weekend that you don't want to miss. It's going to be filled with so much transformation and wisdom and knowledge. Like wisdom and knowledge are two very different things, so I can say that.
Thank you.
But please come be a part of it because you're going to want to just embrace everything. It's such a warm and fuzzy place, and there's so much that we're going to get to explore this weekend. I'm so jazzed.
It's going to be fabulous. Go forth, everyone. Have a magical day. And we will see you at the Samhain Symposium on October 26th and 27th at Crown Plaza in Plymouth. Thank you so much, Anna, with Shadowit Creations, for being a platinum sponsor with us.